Hello and welcome to another Fallout 4 creation kit tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a simple follower. This method I just recently came up with, and there are some limitations on what these followers can and cannot do, which I have listed in the description, and I recommend looking at that before continuing with the video. But in short, followers made using this method are going to be more like the Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas followers in terms of functionality rather than the Fallout 4 followers. Also, this method will work for any race, but some of the races such as like Deathclaws, Cats, Aliens, some of the robots, they're going to require some extra steps, which I will show in this tutorial. So with all that being said, let's begin. Okay, so the first thing we want to do after we load up Fallout 4.esm is we want to make a new quest, and that is going to be where we put all of our dialogue for our companion. So go to Character, Quest, right click, New, and then give it a new ID. Give it a name, it can be anything. Set the priority to 15, uncheck run once, and then press OK. Alright, we're going to leave that for now. We'll come back to it and add dialogue to it later. But first, if you're not making a human or a regular ghoul follower, so if you're making like an alien or a cat or Deathclaw or whatever, you're going to have to do this extra step right here. You would need to go to Character, Race, and find the race that you want your companion to be. In this video I'm going to be making a Deathclaw follower, so I'm going to find Deathclaw race. I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to press duplicate. Then I'll make a copy of it. I'm going to double click and open that. I'm going to give it a new ID. And if I were to assign an NPC to be this race currently, they'd be invisible. So to fix that, you want to come down here to under copied data, and next to morph race and armor race, you want to click on those drop down menus and find the race that you just copied. In this case it's going to be Deathclaw race, and pick it for both of those. Now they'll no longer be invisible. And next, over here in these checkboxes, we want to make sure that can't open doors is unchecked, otherwise they will not be able to follow you through doors. And we want to make sure allow PC dialogue is checked. Now, if you were to assign an NPC this race and you go up to them in game, you should now see the press E to talk button show up. But they still won't talk to you, and that is because up here under dialogue quests it's set to creature dialogue Deathclaw, which doesn't have any dialogue in it. So we want to change that to the quest that we just made. After that, we are going to press OK. It's going to ask if you want to make a new object in a new form. We're going to say no because we just want to rename this, and then we'll say, are you sure? We're going to say yes. Next, we need to make a global variable. To do that, we want to go to the miscellaneous section, find global, right click, new. So this window will pop up, and you want to give it a unique ID. I recommend to be as unique as possible so it doesn't get overwritten by another mod that you might make or install. So And also it cannot start with a number, otherwise you will run into problems later on. I'm just going to call it death follow GV. And I'm going to leave the value at 0, and I'm going to leave constant unchecked. And I'm going to press OK. And I'll show you why we did that in a few minutes. But first, we are going to make our NPC. Now, again, if you're making a human follower, just right-click, new, and then edit the traits and stats and all that stuff the way you normally would. But we are making a creature follower, so, and I ran into issues doing that with creature followers, just right-clicking new and then changing the race to whatever, where they would not fight for you in combat. Instead, they would just run away, even though their confidence was maxed out and their aggression level was set to aggressive. So to get around that problem, we want to find, in my case it's going to be level Deathclaw, but if you're making like a gorilla, it would be level gorilla, and you want to open that, and you want to change the ID, and then press OK. It's going to ask if you want to create a new form. This time we're going to say yes, and then we are going to open it back up, and we are going to go to the Templates tab. You want to uncheck use traits. If you want, you can uncheck stats and change the stats to wherever you want, but I'm just going to leave it checked. We want to uncheck use factions, uncheck use AI data, uncheck use AI packages, and uncheck use base data, and uncheck use keywords. And over here, we want to uncheck respawn, check unique, and check essential. Then we want to go to the traits tab and change the race to the race we just made. Then under factions, we want to delete any factions that are currently here and say new, and find player faction. Next we are going to go to the relationships tab. We're going to right click, new, give it a name, and we want the parent NPC to be the actor we just made. It's not showing up, so let me just press OK and open it back up. Alright, so there it is. And we want the child NPC to be the player. We want to set the relationship level to ally, association type none, and leave secret unchecked. Next we want to go over to keywords. If you're making a Deathclaw, you want to delete that and just leave the other ones. For AI data, we want to set it to aggressive, and we want to say helps friends and allies, and you can change the confidence level if you want. I'm just going to leave it there. Then we are going to go to AI packages. Now here is we are going to add a bunch of AI packages here. So to do that, we're going to right click, new, and we are going to give it a name. I'm going to call it death follow package, and this is going to be the actual follow package that tells the NPC to follow the player. And what we want to do is go to under the package tab, go to package template, scroll down to follow player. If you want, you can click here and change the follow distance right here, but I'm just going to leave it. The flags, we can just leave them how they are right now. And then conditions, we want to right click new, change the condition type to get global value. We want to change the parameter to the global variable that we made. So for me it's going to be def follower GV, and we want to have that equal to 1 and run on subject and press OK. So what this is going to do, or what this says, is that this follow package will only be active if the global variable that we made is equal to 1. So click on it and press copy condition, because we're going to be using that a lot, and press OK. And then we're going to make another new package, so right click new. This is going to be our weight package, so we're going to call it def weight package. And for package template, we want to scroll down to weight, and then go to the conditions tab and paste that condition in again, except this time we're going to change the value to 2. So now this weight package will only work, or only be active, if the global variable that we made is equal to 2. And we're going to press OK. We're going to make another new package, so right click new. This is going to be where the NPC goes after we dismiss them. So we're going to call it def home package. Under the package tab, we're going to go to package template and change it to sandbox. Then we want to come down here to location, click on that, and click on near editor location, and this location window will pop up. There's a few things you can do here. You can either click it to be in cell and then find the cell you want them to go back to. So I could change it to the dugout in, and then when I dismiss them, he'll just sandbox around the dugout in. Or if you want it to be a little bit more specific, you can instead come over to the object window and filter for X marker under all, and load up where you want them to go back to in the render window, and drag and drop the X marker into there. Double click on it and give it a reference editor ID. I'm going to call it def home ref, and then press OK. And then back in this location window, you want to check near reference, and then select reference, double click the X marker in the render window, and then press OK. And now when this package is active, our follower will go and just stand on this X marker here. If you want them to not just stand right on it and you want them to walk around a bit, you can change this radius here. I'll change it to 250. Then you can go to the conditions tab, right click new, or just paste it in the get global value conditioning again, and we're going to change this value to 0. So now this home package will only be active if the global variable that we made is equal to 0. And we're going to press OK. If you're making a human follower, there's one more package you want to add. It's going to be the sneak package, so that they sneak when you sneak. So you want to right click new, and we'll call it follower sneak package. For the package template, we wanted to set it to follow player again, and you might want to reduce the radius down, maybe like 250, so that they follow you closer when you're sneaking. And under the flags, we want to check always sneak, and then condition, we want to paste in our condition again that we've been using, and make sure the value is equal to 1. And then we also want to make another new condition, and the condition type is called is sneaking. We want to make sure it's equal to 1, and we want it to run on the player, and then press OK. So this package, where the NPC is always sneaking, will only be active if they are following the player and if the player is sneaking. And then that's it. Just press OK. Since I'm making a Deathclaw companion, I am just going to delete that because I'm not going to need it. And also, if you want, over here, you can check doesn't affect stealth meter. I'm going to leave that unchecked though. And we are going to press OK. And now we can drag them into the world. And there they are. For me, they're just a big M. And next thing we want to do is open up our quest that we made earlier and start adding dialogue. I've already made a dialogue tutorial, so I'm going to just run through this really quick. Go to the quest aliases tab, new reference alias, give it a name, unique actor, find our actor, or NPC, press OK. Go to scenes, right click new, give it a name, make sure it's selected, player dialogue, right click, new actor, find the alias that we made, double click on greet, give it a name, press OK, give them a greeting, press OK, and then make sure that requires player activation is checked so that they'll only greet you if you click on them. New condition, get reference or get alias ref, make sure it's our alias that we just made. And if you want it to be so you have to do a certain quest, such as like maybe make a main story quest or a recruitment quest or whatever, in order to get this NPC as a follower, you want to right click, new, change the condition to get quest completed. That's not right. Get quest completed. There we go. And then change the quest to whichever quest that you want to be the requirement. Make sure it's equal to 1, and then run subject, and then press OK. I'm not going to have a recruitment quest, so I'm just going to delete that. And then we're going to press OK, right click, add phase at end, right click, new action, player dialogue, press OK, and now we are going to start adding our dialogue for our companion. The first thing we're going to do is come here, double click, and we're going to add the dialogue option that tells the NPC to start following the player. So for prompt, I'm just going to make it be follow me, response text, follow me. We're going to press OK. And for conditions, we once again want to paste in our get global value condition, and we're going to change the value to 0, so that this dialog option will only be available if the NPC is currently not following the player. And we're going to press OK. Over here, we're going to give our NPC some response dialog to that. So it can be whatever you want. Press OK. And we're going to paste that condition in again and change the value to 0 again. So the NPC will only respond this way if they're not currently following the player. Next, down here, we want to select Run Fragment on End. And what we want to type in here is going to be the name of your global variable that you made. So for me, it's going to be def follow gv, and then a period, and then set value int with a capital S, capital V, and capital I, open parentheses, 1, close parentheses. And what this is going to do is it is going to change our global variable value to whatever it currently is to 1. And before we compile it, we have to click this down arrow next to properties and say click on create using form. Then this window will pop up and you're going to type in the name of your global variable. For me, it's going to be def follow gv, and under property name is going to try adding a p in front. Just delete that, and then press OK, and a little window will pop up saying that it was successful. There it is. Just press OK, and now you can compile it. And then if it works, nothing will pop up, and then you press OK. Now we want to add a dialog option for dismissing our follower. So we're going to right click here and click New, and we're going to call it Part Ways. We're going to say time for us to part ways. Press OK, and under conditions we want to paste in our get global value condition and make sure that the value is equal to 1, and press OK. And so this dialog option will only show up if the NPC is currently following us. And we're going to press OK again, and we're going to come over here to give the NPC some response dialog to that. We're going to say right click New, and then give them some dialog. Press OK. Paste in our condition again. Make sure the value is equal to 1, so the NPC will only respond this way if the value is equal to 1, which means they're following us. And we're going to come back down here to run Fragment, and we want to type in the same thing we just did last time. So def follower gv dot set value int, except this time instead of 1 we wanted to set it to 0. And before we compile it, once again we have to go to the down arrow next to properties, create using form, and we have to do this again. We have to delete the P again, press OK, and it'll say that was successful. Press OK, and now we can compile it. And then press OK. And we're going to do one more dialog option under this section, so right click New. This is going to be telling the NPC to start following us again after we told them to wait. So I'm just going to have it be let's get going press OK. And for conditions, we want to once again paste our get global value condition in again, and make sure that the value is 2, so this dialog option will only pop up if the NPC is currently waiting. So we're going to press OK again, and I'm quickly going to go back and copy this fragment that we keep using, and then we're going to make some new response dialog for our NPC. So right click new, give them some response dialog, press OK, add in our condition again, so right click paste, and we want to change the value to be 2, so the NPC will only respond this way if they're currently waiting. And then down here, once again, we want to say run fragment, and it's going to be the same thing we've been doing, except we want to change that value to be 1, and once again, down arrow next to properties, create using form, type the name of your global variable, delete the P that they add, and press OK. Press OK again, and compile. So now our NPC will start following us again, and then press OK. Next, we want to add the wait option. So I'm going to come down here, double click, I'm going to have the option of the prompt just be wait, response text, just wait here, press OK, and then condition, paste in our condition again, and make sure the value is equal to 1. So this option will only show up if they're currently following us, and then press OK. Then we're going to come over to the NPC response dialog, open it up, give them some dialogue, press OK, paste the condition again, make sure the value is equal to 1, so they'll only say this if they're currently following us. And once again, down here, run fragment, right click, paste in our fragment we've been using, and we're going to change the value to 2. Down arrow next to properties, create using form, do this again, press OK, press OK again, and compile. And then press OK. Next, we are going to add the trade option. So I'm going to come down here, double click, have the prompt just be trade, add some response text, and I'm going to paste our condition in twice. For the first one, we want the value to be equal to 1, and then we're going to check the OR box here and press OK, and then we're going to open up the second one, change the value to 2, and once again check the OR box and press OK. So now this dialog option will only show up if the player is, or if the NPC is currently following us, or if they're currently waiting. And we're going to press OK. Then you're going to come over here, double click, give the NPC some response dialog, press OK, and instead of running a fragment, we are going to come over here and add a script. So click add, this window will pop up, and filter for open, and click on the open inventory info script, and then press OK, and then press cancel. And now that script will open the NPC's inventory for us. And we're going to going to paste in our conditions again. Make sure the value is 1, and then we're going to check OR. Click on the other one, make sure that the value is 2, and check OR. Press OK, and press OK. And that's it for the follower commands. If you want to talk to your follower, you can come down here, have a prompt be talk, have some response text if you want, and then you would come down here and say create scene, give it a new name, and then check start scene on end. Make sure nothing's down here, and press OK, and then press OK here. Change tabs really quick, and then you'll see the scene that we just made, and then you can fill this out again if you want. I'm just going to leave it blank. But yeah, you can just fill this out with whatever conversation you want to have with your follower. But like I said, I'm just going to leave it blank. And that should be it. They're already in the world, so we are going to save it and test it in game. Alright, so here we are in game. Here's our companion. I'm going to talk to him. And we're going to tell him to follow us. I'm going to run outside really quick so you can actually see him follow us.
Need new clothes? Should stop by Fallon's basement. Open during the day.
Alright, so there he is. He's following us. He's not killing everybody. And no one's trying to kill him. We can talk to him. We can tell him to wait here. And
hey there, General.
He's just gonna wait there. We can go back to him. Tell him to start following us again.
Can't believe you actually found that baseball stuff.
And he's following us again. You can talk to him again. You can trade. Inventory. And we can send him home.
People seem happy to have him.
And there he goes
Feels good.
back to the dugout inn.
Well, look. Diamond City's #1 troublemaker.
And really quick, I'm going to tell him to follow us again. And I'm going to quickly just spawn some enemies to make sure he fights for us. Alright, I just spawned some enemies, and he will hopefully help us fight them. Get out of here. That was the best choice to choose death laws. since it's kind of hard to tell. Oh, here he is. And he's going around fighting all the enemy death boss. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of this tutorial. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you found this helpful.